Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful evening out here in Vancouver. It is 5 o'clock in the evening, as I can see. Beautiful out. It's still not too cold, so it's not winter just yet, but I think we're getting to a high of 8 or 9 degrees during the day, so it's not warm either. Anyway, so today me and Connor drove down to Vancouver to go and do some deliveries of the Innovate Vancouver book, because we were just like, I had to go and do it. And I got to tell you, there's a couple of things that you got to know when you move to Vancouver. Number one, this time of the year, it is wet and soggy. All right, you've got all the leaves from fall that's lying on the ground, and then it's the rain, and it makes this brown, mushy, pulpy thing that's like almost everywhere. Stuff is slippery as crap, like banana peels, really. So, I like wearing my Crocs. I'm always in Crocs. I've been wearing Crocs for many years. It's just for me one of the most comfortable shoes. But Crocs are not made for this weather because they are slippery. So I'm going to have to switch over to shoes now. And you are going to find moss and it looks a little bit wet and drenched, to be honest. And then the other thing that you got to understand is that in large parts of Vancouver, we were driving around, what was it, just east of, not East Vancouver, just east of town, in that area, Burnaby, around there we were doing deliveries. You know what? Beautiful little old houses, beautiful place, but no driveways, no parking. It's not like South Africa where everybody's got a big yard and a garage and you pull your car in. It's street parking. And I tell you what, it's an absolute pain in the ass driving around there, because you've got all of these cars parked on both sides of the road and there's just barely space for one car to pass, but it is a two-way road. So basically what you've got to do is, if somebody comes from the front, you need to find a hole, pop in, let the guy pass, and then you can carry on, and so forth, so on. But in some of those streets, I had Connor driving. He was going with me. I had him driving because he needs to, practice now that he's got his driver's license, or his N license. Anyway, so the funny thing was, man, some of those streets, there were so many cars parked that there are no gaps to pop into. I mean, if you run into somebody from the front there, I don't know what you do. Somebody's going to have to reverse to make space. And I don't know how you do that, because there are cars all the way. How do you find parking? We were just chatting about it. What was Connor's words? This is a catastrophe, because it's I can only imagine if you come home from work and you have to park 4 blocks away from your house and walk home because there's just no parking on the side of the road. It's cool on the one hand. It feels like this villagey type, scenario. But on the other hand, I can see that it's a mission. We are lucky. We've got a lot of space here. In West Van, I suppose, most people have space. And over here, what you have is a lot of the houses, though the main roads don't have a driveway or a garage on there. But in between the two houses, there's an alleyway. And that's where the garages or parking spots are. Any which way. So I just thought that was interesting. But understand those two things. When you move to Vancouver, it's going to be wet and soggy and slippery. And if you go live in some of those areas, there's many areas, I suppose, around Vancouver like that. Not on the North Shore. The North Shore and some of the newer areas are better. I mean, it's mostly the older areas. I suppose they were built and laid out before everybody had a car. But yeah, street parking. People hate street parking. All right, folks, have a good one. Cheers.